Hi everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today I want us to look at independent samples t-test, and I want us to look at this topic comparing blood pressure levels between smokers and non-smokers. So you will notice that most tutorials on independent sample t-test have focused more on gender, male and female. So I'd like you to understand that independent samples t-test can go beyond that. So the independent sample t-test is a statistical method that you can use to determine whether there are significant differences between the means of two independent groups. For example, you have the male and female, or you have smokers, non-smokers. So the group must be different from each other. The dependent variable must be continuous for you to be able to conduct independent samples t-test. So in this case, you can have variables like test scores, height, weight, blood pressure level, as the case may be. So please note that your dependent variable must not be A or B or yes or no. Okay, it must not be categorical, it has to be continuous. There are basic assumptions that you need to make for you to go on to conduct independent samples t-test, just like I will demonstrate them in this analysis. So as we proceed, so one of them is that the data within each group should be approximately normally distributed. Okay, so your continuous variable, the dependent variable, you need to check normality to be sure that the data is considered approximately normally distributed. Then the second one is the variance of the data in each group should be approximately equal. That is homogeneity of variances. So you cannot just go on to run independent samples t-test without checking these basic assumptions. They're pretty important. And then the observations should be independent within and between groups, all right, just like I've explained before. So the two groups must be distinct from each other. So for the hypothesis, you usually need to pose two: the null and the alternate hypothesis, or the alternative hypothesis. So the null hypothesis, we read that there is no difference, but the alternative hypothesis, we read that there is a difference. And so after conducting the independent samples t-test, we will be interested in obtaining the t statistics and then the p-value associated with it. All right, but again, this is our rule here, that if the p-value is less than 0.05, we would reject the null hypothesis, indicating a significant difference between the two groups. So let us head over to SPSS. So the first part in the SPSS you have is the variable view, and then I have this data that I've already collected. So we've got the two groups here. So you have the ID or groups. So we have group 1 to 50 for smokers, and then the non-smokers blood pressure. So we have from 51 to 100. Okay, so these are the groups, and then these are their scores. The blood pressure, systolic, BP, already measured. In the SPSS, we will check the first one and then we name it group, okay, or groups, however, and then we will put this one, our dependent variable will be blood pressure level, or level, either level or levels. All right, so and then I usually like to keep these on 0 decimal so that I'll be sure what I am working on. The next thing I would do is to go to the values and assign the values to the group. So of course, the first group here, if you come to my to my Excel sheet, is that you will see that the first group are the smokers, and then the second group here are the non-smokers. All right, so that the non-smokers are the ones who've got their details here. Okay, so I will have to instruct the SPSS so the SPS gets to know. So I will call them smokers, And then group 2, I'm going to call them non-smokers. Okay, and then I'll click OK. Then this, because this is continuous, it's not categorical, so there are no values here, so I'm not going to put some values here. There's no need for that. So I will head over to my my data set and then copy those for to 50 here. That's for group 1, and I'll come to the SPSS, go to data view, and then paste them here. So I'm gonna paste. All right, to 50, and I will name that group 1. So I'm going to put 1 as my group 1, remember. Yeah, these are group 1. Then the next group will be group 2. So I'll go back to my Microsoft Excel, and then I'm going to copy this, copy to 100, and lift this, and then paste. So this is group 2. So I'm going to put that in group 2. Okay. So now that the data set has been imputed into the SPSS, the first thing we need to do is to check these assumptions. So we need to be sure that the data are normally distributed. To do that, this is the one that we need to check for normality. Okay, so we go to Analyze, Descriptive, Explore. So we bring in the dependent variable, which is blood pressure levels, and then come to Statistics and leave it at default. So we come to the plots and then check the histogram and normality plot test and click Continue, and then we will click OK for the analysis to perform. So here you can see the result of the normality test. What you are interested in the normality test or the test of normality is that you want to see the result of the Shapiro-Wilk test. So if this test is statistically significant, so which means that it is less than 0.05 significant level, so you will consider this data to be assumed not normally distributed. But in this case, this is 0.911, showing that this data, this is not statistically significant, showing that the data can be considered as normally distributed because the sig value for Shapiro-Wilk test is above 0.05 significant alpha level. This is 0.911. And then again, the Kolmogorov-Smirnov result, you also see that the sig value is also 0.200, that is above 0.005. So this already means that we are already meeting this assumption. So we need to copy this result and then put into the Microsoft Word where you want to report your result. So the next thing we need to do is to copy this result and then come to the Microsoft Word and say results of normality tests. Normality test. Okay, so we can increase this. All right, so that's the first thing you need to do, and so I'm going to paste these results. So we go to the histogram result. The histogram output is another result that you want to paste to show normality, right? If I double click this right now, I'll go to Elements and show the distribution curve. Okay, so looking at the histogram, you can agree that this is showing a normal curve. So I'll simply copy this and also head to Microsoft Word and then paste this as well. Okay. So if you want, you can also copy the normal QQ plot. Then if you look at the result of the normal QQ plot, you will see that the values are very close to the linear line. All right, very close to the linear line and not scattered across. So showing, confirming the result of the normality test. Then again, if you look at the rectangular bars for outlier, you will see that we have one outlier here and then we have another one here. But again, if you look at that, there is no asterisk to this outlier. So supposing we have asterisk, okay, this is just a warning that this could be an outlier, but because this is the result that we got from the field, so it can be considered an outlier. Outliers are simple when you erroneously include a value that is not supposed to be part of the result you've collected from the field. So SPSS may signal that this particular value might be different. For example, this is item statement. This is number 32 and 75. So let us look at number 75 and 32 in the SPSS. Number 32, that is 168. So this value here may be showing that this number may be higher than virtually every other number here. And then again 75, if we go to 75, this is 75, so it might be showing that this is the lowest number here. All right, this is 99. Okay, but that does not mean that this is bad, but this is exactly what we got in the field, so we can allow that to be. Okay, so the next thing, having made this the assumption, the next thing we want to do is to check the next assumption, the homogeneity of variance. We will go ahead to run the independent samples t-test, and then the analysis comes with the assumption. So we'll go to analyze, compare means, independent samples t-test. So we put in the BP level, the blood pressure level, into the test variable, and then we take the groups into the group. Remember, you need to define the groups so SPSS will understand what the groups you've coded. So you simply put number 1 to 1 and then group 2 to 2. All right, so that is this group here. We have the smokers, while group 2, remember, non-smokers. Okay, if I try to turn on this, so you can see 1 here, smokers, and then you go down, so you can see 2 from 51 non-smokers. So that's exactly what we defined here. And so for the analysis, it's already on default at 95% confidence interval, so you don't need to do anything at this point. So you simply allow this and then click OK. So in this analysis, you can see the number, the BP levels, smokers, there are 50, just like we showed before. So this is like a descriptive statistics of the entire analysis. So we have 50-50 equal number, and then we have this is their mean. The mean for the smokers is 136.28, and that of non-smokers 130.21. But again, you can see when you look at the mean here, you can see that the mean for smokers are higher than that of the non-smoker smokers, showing you that there is a significant difference between the groups. But again, this is the result that we want to see, which is the independent sample t-test results. So in this case, you see the Levene's test for equality of variances. And here, if the sig value is less than 0.05 significant alpha level, it means that we do not meet this assumption. But in this case, we assume that, equal variance, all right, because the sig value here, this particular sig value here, is not statistically significant. So you can go on to report the result of the t-test for this value, the one up. Assuming that this is less than 0.05, this value here, the sig value here, then you will report the value that is down. So you will report equal variances not assumed. But because the p-value here is above 0.05, so we are going to report the results of this particular one here. And so you can see that when you look at the sig value here, it's less than 0.05 significant level, indicating that we will reject the null hypothesis. So let's look at that again. So this is 0.013. This is below 0.05. Remember, 0.05. This is like saying 0.05. So this is 0.013. This is lower than 0.05. Okay, indicating that there is a statistically significant in the blood pressure between the groups. This is exactly how the result will look like. So you can pause this video to read this or screenshot this and put. So here I've tried to interpret it that first of all, look at this is the F result and the sig value. So I've written the Levin's tests for equality of variances, and then I've also written the result of the t-test here. So the next thing is for you to start discussing the implications, okay? And then if there are some theoretical assumptions or theoretical contributions you may want to address further, you can now go on to do that at this point. So this is exactly how your result is going to look like. Thank you so much for watching. If you find the video interesting, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you'll be able to get notification when I post a new video. Thank you for watching.